Chapter 12 The Final Battle. Lin Chuan, Long, and she carefully entered the demon fortress. After dealing with a few patrolling soldiers, they quickly infiltrated the fortress. Along the way, they moved swiftly and cautiously through the dark corridors. Finally reaching the sealed door leading to the underground, Lin Chuan took out the key, inserted it into the lock, and with a low, resonating sound, the seal on the door was lifted. The darkness beyond the door seemed like a giant mouth ready to swallow everything. "Are you ready?" Lin Chuan's voice was calm and decisive, his eyes reflecting an undeniable determination. Long and she exchanged a glance and nodded silently, not speaking further, because only the battle could bring an end. The three of them carefully stepped into the dark underground maze. The faint light from the torch in Lin Chuan's hand illuminated the path ahead. However, the maze was vast, seemingly endless. Long couldn't he help but say, "This maze is huge. Are we supposed to keep going until dawn?" Lin Chuan didn't respond, only lowering his head to observe their surroundings. At that moment, the black curse marks on Shi's body began to glow faintly, as though some mysterious force was guiding them forward, following the guidance of the curse marks. The three of them soon passed through the complicated maze and reached the final altar. On the altar, the holy sword was sealed in the center, surrounded by an immense aura of powerful energy. However, the sword's seal was not alone. Two massive magical beasts, the black magic tiger and the white magic tiger, stood around the altar, their eyes gleaming with bloodlust. "It seems that breaking the seal won't be easy," Lin Chuan said, staring at the two beasts, taking a deep breath and preparing for battle. "I'll hold them off. You two go and break the seal," Long shouted, charging towards the black magic tiger with his sword. The sword collided with the beast as close in midair. Sparks flying, she and Lin Chuan rushed towards the altar to break the seal. However, the black magic tiger's attack came like thunder, its sharp claws cutting through the air and aiming at Lin Chuan. He leapt to avoid the attack, but the white magic tiger's fiery assault was coming directly at him. She hurriedly summoned a wave of dark energy, neutralizing the flames. After an intense battle, the black curse marks on Shi's body began to glow brightly, as though mysterious power was guiding them. Finally, with a powerful strike, the seal on the holy sword was broken. "We did it!" Lin Chuan shouted excitedly. With the seal broken, the holy sword finally fell into Lin Chuan's hands. Gripping the sword, he felt an unmatched power surge through him, and his level instantly soared to 100. However, at that moment, the black magic tiger and white magic tiger immediately launched their counterattacks. The black magic tiger lunged at Lin Chuan, missing and angrily striking at his neck. Lin Chuan dodged calmly and cleaved the black magic tiger's abdomen with one strike. The sword's energy sliced through the beast, cutting it in half, blood splattering. Seeing this, the white magic tiger let out a thunderous roar, releasing a powerful magical energy. But Lin Chuan blocked it and quickly took down the white magic tiger with a swift strike. The three of them helped each other, heading towards the exit, preparing for the final battle with the Demon King. Meanwhile, the Resistance army base was in a state of crisis. The Demon King, leading his army, was closing in on the base. The overwhelming forces had breached the defenses and were rapidly approaching the city walls. The Demon King stood beneath the walls, gazing coldly down. "You think you can resist me? Today is the day you all die." The Demon King's voice was low and evil, echoing around the base. Five men who stood on the city wall, holding long swords, their gazes resolute. "Demon King, today will fall. Everyone, follow me, and fight to the death." The Resistance soldiers shouted their rallying cries, brandishing their weapons and charging towards the Demon King's army. However, the Demon King showed no hesitation, swinging his powers to unleash large-scale dark magic attacks. Hui and Gwen followed closely behind, standing at the front lines of the battle, using their powerful magic to fight the Demon King's army. Hui's sword light sliced through enemies like lightning, while Gwen, using the power of the Divine Dragon, swiftly charged at the Demon King for a life or death duel. You betrayed me, Hui. Today, you will all die. The Demon King roared. We all die, but we all hold you off, Hui retorted fearlessly. However, as the battle wore on, Hui's injuries worsened, and he could barely lift his sword. Just as he was about to fall, Gwen shouted, Hui, hang on, I'll find Lin Chuan. He is the only one who can unleash the full power of the Holy Sword. Hui, pale and weak, shook his head desperately. No, go! Only he can defeat the Demon King. Without hesitation, Gwen retreated quickly, placing Hui in a relatively safe spot, and then flew towards the Demon Fortress. Lin Chuan finally met up with Gwen. The two mounted Gwen's back and raced toward the Demon King, who was engaged in battle with the Resistance army. Upon seeing Lin Chuan, the Demon King stopped his attack, a hint of caution flashing in his eyes. His body began to swell, transforming into his demon form. His hands turned into massive claws, and fiery wings sprouted from his back. Ha ha ha! Lin Chuan, you finally came. Do you think this holy sword can defeat me? The Demon King's voice was filled with mockery, clearly underestimating Lin Chuan. Lin Chuan coldly looked at him, the holy sword one slash gleaming in his hand. Demon King, you no longer have a chance. The Demon King swung his massive claws, shaking the entire battlefield. The air around him twisted due to his power. He suddenly charged at Lin Chuan. Swinging his claws, Lin Chuan swiftly parried with his sword, and their attacks collided mid-air, triggering fierce magical explosions that threw the battlefield into chaos. Lin Chuan used his magic reflex skill to bounce back part of the Demon King's attacks, while Gwen supported him with the Divine Dragon's power, repelling the Demon King's fiery assault. However, the Demon King didn't give up easily. His power grew exponentially, and soon he entered the second phase of his transformation, the demon form. Your power is nothing compared to mine. Let me show you my true strengths. The Demon King's roar shook the battlefield. He unfolded the wings of his demon form and launched a furious attack on Lin Chuan. His claws descended like mountains. Lin Chuan, with the power of the Holy Sword, barely blocked the attack, but the Demon King's strength remained overwhelming. The battle intensified. Lin Chuan's sword energy flashed like lightning with every strike, each one carrying immense power. But the Demon King's form only made his attacks more ferocious. Gwen continued to support Lin Chuan, unleashing powerful dragon flames to strike at the Demon King. Quick, use one slash, Gwen shouted. Lin Chuan gritted his teeth, pouring all his strength into the Holy Sword. As the sword's energy flared, Lin Chuan cried out, one slash. A massive golden beam of light shot towards the Demon King, shaking the entire space. The Demon King was knocked back by several meters, his body covered in blood. But he didn't fall. Instead, he roared in fury and transformed into his ultimate form, the satanic form. Lin Chuan, you will push me to my last resort. The Demon King screamed, his body bursting with even greater power. Countless black fireballs erupted from his body, raining down like meteors towards Lin Chuan and Gwen. Gwen desperately exhaled dragon flames to block them. Lin Chuan used magic reflect to deflect some, but the number of fireballs was too overwhelming. Just as one fireball was about to hit Lin Chuan, Guan lunged forward, using his own body to block the attack. It is up to you now, Lin Chuan. Unleashed the full power of the holy sword. Guan's body trembled, dragon scales falling off. Lin Chuan's eyes filled with anger and sorrow. He gripped the holy sword tightly, pouring all his power into it. His entire body shone with golden light. Demon King, remember this strike. One slash. A massive golden sword light shot up into the sky like a meteor, crossing the entire battlefield. Loud black fireballs were instantly purified. The sword energy tore through the air, striking the Demon King's chest and completely ripping his body apart. The Demon King's scream echoed across the alternate world as his limbs exploded, and his body turned to dust. His white, unbelieving eyes remained open even in death, unable to accept his fate. With the Demon King's fall, his army was immediately destroyed, and all the dark forces dissipated. Lin Chuan landed, panting heavily, leaning on the holy sword to steady himself. Shi, Long, and Hui arrived shortly after, joy filling their faces upon seeing Lin Chuan safe. Fan tightly grasped Lin Chuan's hand, his eyes red. "You did it, brother," she whispered. "We finally won." All the resistance soldiers knelt and cried, overwhelmed by the relief and freedom that followed the end of the war. At that moment, a white light descended from the sky, enveloping Lin Chuan. It is the portal. Shi's voice was choked. Lin Chuan turned around, smiling at everyone. "I have to go back." Long patted his shoulder. "When you get back, take a look at the human world for me." Guan softly growled, his gaze filled with reluctance. "Goodbye, my friend," Lin Chuan whispered. In the next second, the white light flashed, and Lin Chuan's figure vanished before their eyes. The white light passed, and Lin Chuan opened his eyes, lying on a familiar bed. Outside, his mother and girlfriend's voices called out, "Lin Chuan, you reawake. You've been unconscious for days. You scared us to death." Lin Chuan gazed at the two familiar faces before him and finally smiled genuinely, softly saying, "I am home and